Dear students, last session which we learnt about what is digital footprint and what are the things which we need to follow. Same time, net and communication etiquettes or communication etiquettes. When you are in internet, the way how you need to behave with other people on internet or online chat which you are there. And also we saw that different licensing softwares, and we saw some of the other things like ethical issues like intellectual property rights and digital property rights, plagiarism, things which we saw the way how we can make use those things. We'll just briefly I'll go through it. Digital footprints are the records and traces individual activities as they use the internet. Digital footprints are permanently stored. Digital footprints are permanently stored. Whatever data which you browse on the internet, which you leave the information, that will be permanent. So managing digital footprint, how it can be done. Know what your digital footprint is. Okay, when you are looking at social networking sites and whatever information which you are sharing or copying, that things which should takes place. Ye behave responsibly. Electronic behave responsibly. So you should take your responsibility the way how you need to be when you are in internet or online. Keep your digital footprint clean. Keep your digital footprint clean. And if you want to protect yourself, so don't post everything about you on the social media sites. And control the visibility of your information. Control the visibility of your information. So you'll be able to control your information to accessibility of other people on internet applications which you use. Allow comments moderation and block comments like accessibility of post and all. Think before you post. Whatever information which you are trying to reshare or post it, new information, think before posting. Whether it is acceptable or not. Okay. So digital footprints means mainly things which you need to be careful about, things like what you share online, what you where you share, where and all you are sharing, and with whom you are sharing. These things we should be more careful about it, and be smart about things like sites you visit, emails you open, links you click. So be smart about it. There are links which comes like prize money, something like that, through advertisements. While opening those things, you should be more smart. And net and communication etiquettes. Net etiquettes generally which we call it as, which is a combination of words called net, which is nothing but internet, and etiquette, it is nothing but communication. Okay. So refrain from personal abuse, never spam, write clearly and consciously, always post correct content in respectable language, in a discussion forum, stick to the topic, and never expect other people to do your homework for you. Do not post copyrighted material to which you do not own the rights. So you do not post copyrighted materials without getting permission and thinking about it is like yours. Like email etiquettes, how it takes place. Be conscious and to the point which you are discussing or sending or forwarding, and use proper spelling and grammar and punctuation. Use proper structure and layout the email which you compose, like subject, body of the image, message which you are composing. It should be proper way which you need to represent. Do not write in capitals. So complete message which should not be written in uppercase letters. So which becomes like the moment when you write your message in the form of uppercase letters. case sensitivity, especially in email communication, which will be treated as you are shouting on through messages. Add an email disclaimer, handle abbreviations and emotions with care. Gender sensitivity, you must take care of that when you are writing some message and you are communicating through internet or social media or in your working environment. You must be more careful with gender community, the way how you need to make use the communication words. Then ethical issues, like some of the common ethical issues we should follow: intellectual property rights and digital property rights and plagiarism, which you should take care of it. And we have come to know that intellectual property rights, the way how we can make use the someone's product creator or producer or developed persons, so without their offense, when you are trying to do that, so which is like crime. Digital property rights, the digital assets which they prepare some content document, it may be educational or it may be any organization or e-commerce, whatever it is. So you should be more careful about when you are working with digitally. Digital copyrights protection, how it takes place: anti-tamper solutions, legal clauses, limit the sharing of software code, and plagiarism. So plagiarism, how not to plagiarize, which is how you are not supposed to copy others' data directly. So you must give credit whenever you use. So another person's idea or option or theory, quotations of another person's actually spoken or written words, or paraphrase of another person's spoken or written words. You must careful of that. Open source philosophy, like the softwares which we use, free software and open source software. Those things also you must be careful doing the things, uses of those applications. And there are different definitions available for open source, different terminology, license rules, which you need to go through it, and copyright and other laws. Now we'll see cyber crime. Okay, so what are the things which is taken place when you do something crime on internet or digitally, when you are working with internet applications? Any crime that involves a computer and a network is called a computer crime or a cyber crime. Okay, so especially nowadays, which we are depending on completely smartphones. Okay, smartphone is also a like of computer, small computer. Okay, so on that, whatever you do, then that which we call it as cyber crime. In other term, it is a crime in which a computer is the object of the crime, like hacking, phishing, spamming, is used as a tool to communicate an offense, like child pornography, hate crimes. So steps to protect yourself against cybercrime. Okay, so either you are using computer or you are using smartphones. Smartphones also a small computer devices which you are completely working on your day-to-day life based on the technology improvement in our day-to-day life. So make sure your security software is current and update it regularly. So which is the softwares which we use in our device, which are up to date, updated, and security, which is providing security applications also within our devices. Lock or log off your computer when you step away, like especially social medias, when you are using through that, then when you are not using, you should log off it, log out that, and go offline when you do not need an internet connection. So go offline when you do not need an internet connection. Consider sharing less online. So sharing information with effectively, smartly, and carefully, observing through messages which you want to post on online, internet, social media. Think twice about using public Wi-Fi. As suppose if you want to use any public Wi-Fi, so think once or twice whether you want to be used, and especially when you are using public Wi-Fi internet connection, then when you do the online transaction, especially financial transactions, you must be careful about it. So when in doubt, don't click. When you have some doubt whether you are clicking some messages and viewing some advertisements when you are in online, so don't proceed on those links or clicks. Types of cybercrime. A computer is the target of the attack. For example, a data breach on a bank site. So by using computer and attacking people, okay, especially like when you do the financial transactions or online purchase, which means you must use the banking transaction when you are purchasing online. So those information breaching, okay, that is what which we call it as one of the cyber crime. A computer is the weapon for an attack. For example, a denial of service attack. So another way is computer is also a weapon for an attack. So like denial of service, stopping the services by involving through viruses. A computer is an accessory to a criminal act. Yes, another way which is also a accessory to use the criminal act. For example, digital identity theft leads to theft of funds from a bank account. Digital theft. Okay, so someone's bank balance hacking. Okay, so these are the some of the types of cyber crime. Hacking. What do you mean by hacking here? We used word called hacking. Hacking is the process of gaining unauthorized access. Hacking is the process of gaining unauthorized access into a computer device or group of computer systems. This is done through cracking of passwords and codes which gives access to the systems. So hacking is nothing but unauthorized access of other people information, content. So cracking of their passwords to access their information, their computer data or their social media applications data. So that is what which we call it as hacking. Difference between hacker and cracker is that a cracker breaks the security of computer systems, and a hacker is a person who likes to explore computer systems and master them. So cracker means breaking the security of computer systems, and hacker means who likes to explore about computer systems and master them on the technology. So types of hackers. Black hat hackers or crackers are individuals with extraordinary computing skills, resorting to malicious and destructive activities. Black hat hackers use their knowledge and skill for their own personal gains, probably by hurting others, to gain their personal uses on social media or internet applications which they use for their personal purpose, and they hurt other people on the internet or social media with their digital communication. White hat hackers are those individuals who use their hacking skills for defensive purposes. This means that the white hat hackers use their knowledge and skill for the good of others and for the common good. So to help someone, then white hat hackers they use their technical skills. Ethical hacking, also known as penetration testing or white hat hacking, involves the same tools, tricks, and techniques that hackers use, but with one major difference that ethical hacking is legal. Ethical hacking is legal. So when you are trying to make use the techniques and laws and tools to protect people, so that which we call it as ethical hacking, which is legal. Grey hat hackers. These are individuals who work both offensively and defensively at different times. Their behavior can't be predicted. Sometimes they use their skills for their common good, while in some other time he or she uses them for their personal gains. Okay, so those type of hackers which we call it as grey hat hackers. Hacking process. Footprinting, who is lookup, NS, national security lookup, and internet intellectual property lookup, scanning, port scanning, network scanning, gaining access like password attacks, social engineering, viruses, maintaining access like operating system backdoors, trojans, clears, tracks, so which we use like through softwares, through that which you access. Required skills of an ethical hacker, like especially for Microsoft skills in operation, configuration, and management, like operating systems like Linux, knowledge of Unix, Linux, security setting, configuration of your computer system, operating system level, and network protocols like TCP/IP, how they function and can be manipulated. Firewalls, like firewalls again, that was told you, uh, firewall software and hardware firewall, and those configuration operations of intrusion detection systems. Project management, like leading, planning, organizing, and controlling a penetration testing team. Routers, knowledge of routers, routing protocols, access controls list. These are the things which you should require for ethical hacking. What do hackers do after hacking? Clear logs and hide themselves. Install rootkit, like backdoor which they access and they remove their information after accessing our information. The hacker who hacked the system can use the system later. It contains Trojan virus and so on. Patch security hole, the other hackers can't intrude. Install IRC, Internet Relay Chat related program. Identate, IRC, Bitch, Eggdrop, BNC, like something softwares which they use to access your information, like relate charting applications. Install scanner program like mscan, scan, nmap. Install exploit programs, and install denial of service programs, like without your offense which they install some applications while you are using internet services and they may access your content, your information. How to prevent hacking? Download software from authorized websites. Scan all types of hard drives before running your devices. Abstain from keeping easy passwords to use to protect yourself. Use protected passwords, like lengthy passwords with special characters and all. Do not click on random email attachments. That is what which you need to make use to protect yourself with cybercrime. Phishing. Phishing is a cyber attack that uses disguise email as a weapon. So phishing is nothing but by using email which you do some crime. The attackers masquerade as a trusted entity of some kind. The goal is to trick the email recipient into believing that the message is something they want or need. Recipients will send sensitive information like account number, username, password, etc. Then attacker use these. So some people, they especially for job oriented people, those who are looking on internet, they will be posting their resumes, their information, and emails which comes like, so you have an offer, while sending basic information to them and while paying basic some amount registration fees, then you will get a good opportunity like that. Some emails comes that you should more careful about it. How to prevent a phishing? Always check the spelling of the URLs before click. Watch out for URLs redirects that send to a different website with identical design. If receive an email from that seems suspicious, contact that source with a new email rather than just hitting replay. Don't post personal data like your birthday, vacation plans, or your address or your phone numbers publicly on social media about your family. And here especially like general all people which they get, like, so sending through Reserve Bank of India. So if you give basic information and basic amount, if you pay, then you will be getting this much amount of prize money, something like that, so which you get through mails. Those don't give information like such kind of emails, don't reply them. So that is what some kind of cyber crime which they do. When you give them your account details and all, so they ask you and to deposit the amount and to send the details about you, gift monies to your home address, like that entire information they may be asking you. So more careful such kind of emails which comes. Cyberbullying. So phishing is through emails attacking, cybercrime, and cyberbullying when you are digitally or internet using online. So how they bullying? Cyberbullying is the use of technology to harass, threaten, or humiliate a target. Examples of cyberbullying is sending mean text, posting false information about a person online, or sharing embarrassing photos or videos which is not authenticated data, and simply forwarding, posting, and abusing others when you are chatting or you are posting information or content on online or internet applications. Cyberbullying differs from in-person bullying, more difficult to recognize. Bullying conducted via text or online medium can more easily go unnoticed, more relentless. Cyberbullying doesn't end at school and can reach at child home, more enduring. It leaves a paper trail that can follow both the bully and the victim for years. It will not be only point of time which takes place, which goes like bullying like period of time. Different types of cyberbullying. Doxing, publishing, revealing personal information about an individual online for purposes of defaming, humiliating, or harassing the victim. Then harassment, posting or threatening hurtful or intimidating messages online or sending them directly to someone with the intention of harming that person, which you want to make them someone others to harass them, and through online or internet you will be sending some unwanted information. Impersonation, creating fake accounts of or gaining access to a person's real social media accounts and posting things to damage the victim's reputation, as creating others name accounts in social medias and posting through that account some unwanted data, unaccepted data, and making the reputation, the people reputation. That is what which we used to read on see on news channels, and read uh, news channels and watch TV news channels and all what's happening, and through newspapers this kind of information. Some people created some fake account and they send some information and they harassing the people. Okay, so you must careful on that. Cyber stacking, tracking and monitoring a person's online activity and using the internet to stack or harass an individual. Cyber stalking is nothing but tracking and monitoring other people's internet activities. Okay, this is another kind of cyberbullying. How to prevent cyberbullying? Be aware of child's online activities. Watch for the following signs of cyberbullying in children. Refusal to allow to see what they are doing online, especially children which they are using mobile phones, internet, and you must be careful about them. Avoidance of discussing what they are doing online, sudden and unexplained increase or decrease in online activity, deactivating social media accounts, emotional responses including sadness, anger, happiness linked to their device uses. Adults should also teach children to recognize and be aware of the signs of cyberbullying themselves. Cyberbullying, especially like children, they mostly wanted to play on internet games, online games. Through games also bullying happens, other people's. Okay, so this most careful and when you are working on internet or online. Cyber law. Okay, cyber law, as it is the part of the legal systems that deals with the cyberspace, internet, and with the legal issues. It covers a broad area like freedom of expressions, access to and utilization of the internet, and online security or online privacy. Generally, it is known as the law of the web. So, cyber law is nothing but there is a law which was formed to protect when you are internet or online communication. Okay, so you have some laws which you need to undergo that. If you overcome those laws and some punishment is given. So, what is the importance of cyber law? Cyber law plays a very important role in this new epoch of technology, new era of technology, which plays very important role because we are depending day-to-day activities completely on internet or online applications. It is important as it is concerned to almost all aspects of activities and transactions that take place either on the internet or the other communication devices, which we use smartphones to do that, and whether we are aware of it or not, but each action and reaction in cyberspace has some legal and cyber legal views. So without knowingly ourselves, whatever things which we do, everything will be recorded. Okay, that legal issues can be taken place when you do something wrong on internet while communicating. The Information Technology Act of India, IT Act of India, according to Wikipedia, the Information Technology Act 2000, also known as ITA 2000 or the IT Act, is an act of the Indian Parliament number 21 of 2000. It was notified on 17th October 2000, which was introduced some Internet Information Technology Act in the year 2000, Indian Parliament. So it is the most important law in India that deals with the digital crimes or cyber crimes and electronic commerce. When you are working digitally and electronic commerce, online purchase and all communication, for that crime they were designed some laws. It is based on the United Nations model law on electronic commerce 1996, that is called UNCITRAL model, recommended by the General Assembly of United Nations by a resolution dated 30 January 1997. Based on that US government Act model, which was designed Information Technology Act of India 2000. Some key points of the Information Technology Act are follows. Act has given birth to new business to companies to issue digital certificates by becoming the certifying authorities. Okay, so by becoming the certifying authorities, this act allows the government to issue notices on internet through e-governance. Email is now considered as a valid and legal form of communication. So digitally the communication which will take place, email is authenticated communication. Digital signatures are given legal validity within the act, within the undergo of law. Digital signatures also so legal validity which is having. The communication between the companies or between the company and the government can be done through internet. Through internet they can communicate, that is legal, which they need to undergo the laws which they were defined. And addressing the issues of security is the most important feature of this act. It introduced the construct of digital signatures that verifies the identity of an individual on internet. In case of any harm or loss done to the company by criminals, the act provides a remedy in the form of money to the company. In the form of money to the company, they can recover. So if you do some crime on internet, those people who lost their information from you, and they can file a case cyber crime, and government will punish the particular person who did the crime in the form of financial money taken. The Information Technology Act 2000 provides legal recognition to the transaction done via an electronic exchange or data and other electronic means of communication or electronic commerce transactions, online transactions, purchases, and some sections under IT Act 2000, which you can see what is the section name and what offense it takes place and what penalty is given. 67A, publishing images containing sexual acts. So something like this kind of unabused images when you post, that section under IT Act law 67A, which is called imprisonment up to 7 years jail will be punished, and up to 7 years, and with fine up to 1 crore rupees. And 67B, publishing child porn or predating children online, about children's blaming and all. For this, fine will be again up to 1 crore on first conviction. Imprisonment about 7 years here also. We need to jail with fine up to 1 crore on second conviction. There is another act like 67E, failure to maintain records, imprisonment up to 3 years and with fine, some amount of fine. 68, failure or refusal to comply with orders. For this also fine amount will be around 2 lakhs. And punishment will be given up to 3 years. And 69 act, the section, failure or refusal to decrypt data, which goes up to 7 years punishment and possible fine. And 70, securing access to, attempting to secure access to protected system, imprisonment up to 10 years and with fine. There is 71 another section, misrepresentation, which goes up to 3 years punishment and with fine amount of 1 lakh rupees. Like see, 10 lakhs amount like fine amount, at the same time 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, and punishment is like need to undergo jail like 3 years or 2 years, 7 years, 10 years, something like this. Some of the act laws punishment is given. E-waste, yes, another important is e-waste. Whenever an electronic device covers its working life or becomes non-usable due to technological advancements or becomes non-functional, it is not used anymore and comes under the category of e-waste or electronic waste. As the technology is changing day by day, more and more electronic devices are becoming non-functional and turning into e-waste. Managing such non-functional electronic devices is termed as e-waste management. Okay, when you purchased computer, and so after some time technology improvement, some other features added, and you don't want to make use the device which you purchased, that becomes e-waste. Same way mobile phones, some people they used to change keep on every 2 months, new model comes, so that whichever you kept aside, which you don't want to make use, those complete devices which we call it as e-waste. Okay, so electronic waste. So what happens those type of waste when you throw out of the public areas on soil? Okay, so which will be affected to human lives, that is where consequences which we are facing in the society nowadays, health problems and some new diseases are coming because of this e-waste management. E-waste which we throw out the society, e-waste hazards like on environment, acidification of soil, air pollution, pollution of groundwater, landfills with lead and heavy metals. As you can see, northern states which they are facing more air pollution, so they are not getting proper air because of these things which we do, pollution which we created. Same way consequences which takes place, some heavy rains and floods happens, these things will happen on environment related. And on human health, yes, when it comes to the related to human health, lung cancer, DNA damage, asthmatic bronchitis, and chronic damage to the brain, damage to heart, liver and spleen. These are the things which happens for human beings health concerns because of this e-waste which you throw on the public areas and all. And to control that electronic waste or e-waste, there is e-waste management can be defined as the practical and holistic approach and the founding pillar of cutting down waste from our mother earth. It is reusing and recycling of e-waste which is no longer in use can be solved for some of its components. We are on the verge of a technological breakthrough with the introduction of artificial intelligence, and we need to dispose of toxic e-waste from our home before we pile up more and more e-waste. We are in dire need of introducing a customer awareness campaign because of lack of interest and acknowledge interest and knowledge regarding e-waste. Yes, we must create an awareness of e-waste, electronic waste, so that we can restrict some of the problems. Proper disposal of used electronic gadgets. So you need to dispose those gadgets which they are not in use. E-waste is a growing problem for us in India, especially as an 132 crore strong economy. We produce e-waste in large quantities. It is very important to dispose of waste in a pragmatic manner because of the amount of e-waste which we throw in the lands, public areas, earth. Okay, so that which is major problem which we are facing, future which may happen, very critical things which happens, like especially for human beings, health issues and some earthquakes and all which may takes place, because which is going to place within the earth. At the same time, different kinds of heavy rains also which may happen, and ways to dispose of e-waste, electronic waste. How we can dispose? Give back to electronic companies and drop off points. Give back those unused electronic devices to the companies. Visit civic institutions, donating your outdated technology. Yes, so if you don't want to make use, you can give the people those who needed those devices, so that they will make use instead of throwing away simply electrical devices. Sell off your outdated technology. Yes, you can sell those. These are companies, some companies they purchase second hand devices, gadgets, electronic devices. Give your electronic waste to a certified e-waste recycler. Yes, that also most important. Certified companies, those who have the permission to recycle the products, for them if you sell, then somewhat you are protecting the environment. Awareness of health concerns. Yes, you should provide the awareness among the people, and you should yourself take some awareness. What are the things you should go through it to protect yourself related to your health? That's why awareness, health concerns related to the usage of technology, which we call it. Physical problems, like how, what are the problems which may happen to the human beings? Repetitive strain injury. The pain exists even when resting, and that the lightest work becomes hard to do. So because of these things, even when you do the little work also sometimes which becomes to do very hard, small works also. So carpal tunnel syndrome, this is an illness caused by injuries that occur due to force on the median nerve found in the wrist. Its symptoms can occur as tingling in hands and fingers, and the feeling of lethargy, sudden pain in wrists and arms, and sometimes even in shoulders, neck and the body. Because of the uses of these electronic gadgets, another type of syndrome which may happen, which may see suddenly your shoulders paining and neck and other bodies, something problems which you get, which occurs. Computer vision syndrome. Experts stated that people blink their eyes more frequently while using a computer than they do at other times, and that they face some problems related to this related to this situation, like your eyes becomes more problematic when you look at continuously on electronic device usage. Radiation. Computer screens produce radiations of various types. There are have always been doubts that individuals will have illness such as headaches and inattentiveness. So that is why when you use more on when you are working with devices, computers and smartphones and other electronic gadgets, which you will face some headache. And inattentiveness, when you are depending on those devices, when you are working with that, and you will not get that attentiveness on your work after some time. Sleeping disorders and decrease in productivity. Yes, when you are working this kind of technology, and you may feel that sleeping disorders, so you will not get proper sleep also, then which becomes health issue. Loss of attention and stress. Yes, so continuously if you are depending on technology and you are using through gadgets, electrical devices and working with that, so you may lose some attention and you will get some stress on your body, which becomes automatically your personal or mental health issues. And psychological problems which may takes place: fear of technology, computer anxiety, internet addiction. These are the things, psychological problems which takes place. And ego surfing, an illness of regularly searching for one's own name on the web and checking what information is available about one's own on the net. So you will be searching keep on others and whatever information when you post on social medias, and keep on you are looking how many people liked or commented on your information. In pornography, the word derived from pornography and information describes the state of trying to soothe a hunger for information on the net. And blog streaking, a desire to spread information online that shouldn't be known by everybody. Then YouTube, narcissism, constantly uploading one's own videos in order to introduce and make himself or herself known to. Okay, Google stacking, trying to get information about all his relatives or acquaintances in the web. And photo lurking, looking at the photo albums of others on the internet. And Wikipedialism, contributing to the internet encyclopedia Wikipedia, sending someone's own writings and revising the present text. This is how some of the psychological problems which occurs, which takes place. So this internet addiction, explosion of social networking, excessive blogging, keep on working on blogs and posting and looking at messages which they are posting on social media which you use. Compulsive online gaming, like when you are playing online games, which means you are addicted to internet usage. And excessive online shopping, over shopping on online, which means you are addicted, there is no use of purchasing but still you purchase some kind of products. Compulsive watching of internet videos and pornography, playing online games, these are the things which takes place. Internet addiction, how do you overcome that? Mental and emotional symptoms which you need to overcome internet addiction: anger, depression relief, mood swings, anxiety, fear, things which may happen. And physical symptoms like an upset stomach, eating irregularities. When you are addicted to the internet, so you won't get proper sleep and you won't eat on time proper food, then your health issues becomes when you are addicted to the internet. So headaches, back pains, these are dry eyes, personal hygiene, these things will happen. For that internet addiction, a person needs timely help of qualified doctor or counselor and family members. Those need to support to come out of that internet addiction. Like instead of working on devices and keep on doing that, So they need to communicate properly and they need to bring them out of that internet addiction to overcome this kind of problems. So this is what societal impacts about related to our syllabus board exam pattern, which we need to know it. Some of the most important things when we are working in internet or online applications or websites which we use to communicate our day-to-day life. That's all. Thank you.